Alec, welcome back. This is Black Mirror time, otherwise known as the Blue Spirit. From those at home, Avatar: The Last Airbender. Okay, if you don't know the reference, if you know, you know. Season 1.
Crap! I don't have my swords.
I don't have my swords.
I left my swords at home.
I am a humble indie character with the name of Donkelis Congus.
Donkus Congus.
Yeah.
Yes.
Donkle Conkle.
Donkledore.
So welcome to our. If you've been in the channel the prior years, you'll know every October we suit up. And we
do. We suit up. It's not like we're like Iron Man. We gotta suit up.
And we go into the world of the spooky and the Halloweeny and a little bit of weird. So, but we always wear costumes for each of the 4 weeks, and we try to have as much horror themed or spooky themed stuff as possible. Black Mirror was just going to be next on the docket anyway. Black Mirror kind of fits the theme anyway.
It does. I would say it fits the theme.
It's like dark kind of. So, but it just depends on the episode whether it really matches or not. So we'll have four episodes of Black Mirror along with the month. So, but there's 6 episodes altogether in season 3. So if you're new to the channel, we did do reactions to all the first 2 seasons episodes, and we kind of put it interspersed between Survivor seasons. And Alec will be wearing this mask throughout the whole reaction, so you can get the true.
I will not. I actually cannot see anything because my glasses don't fit in there, so I can't see a thing right now. So in fact, I'm probably gonna take that right off. So yeah.
Good for reactions. One of these years we'll just be wearing masks the whole time.
Just wear masks the whole time. We're like the Guy Fawkes mask, so it'll be like anonymous. I should have done that. I should have done like freaking V for Vendetta. I would have done that, and then everyone would be like, "Why is Alec anonymous?"
All right, so it's been a while since Black Mirror.
Has been
kind of as we've been going. There's not much to preface because each episode is different from the past. It's an anthology series, and I have seen all the episodes. Alec has not.
Yeah, that's correct. It's the same sort of deal as Survivor in a way. Yeah.
One of these days we'll have something that you've seen and I have not.
But it is not this day.
Not this day.
Yeah, this is we'll find that at some point, I'm sure.
But so you can watch the playlist of our Black Mirror stuff. If you don't want to, you want to just jump in this one. If you want to know kind of our opinions, roughly our rankings of the episodes, we had White Christmas at the top, Entire History of You, 15 Million Merits, Be Right Back, White Bear, the National Anthem, The Waldo Moment.
Yeah, I would say that's pretty accurate. Yeah. Yeah, we both kind of had pretty much the same tier list there. So that may change moving forward.
And we'll work in these season 3 episodes. Honestly, I think season 3 has a lot of great stuff in here. Could definitely be some of our favorites. There are some of my personal favorites in here. So
well, I'm looking forward to it. I've been looking to add out because I would say like season 1 overall, like National Anthem, that's quite a statement for your first episode. But that aside, I mean there were 3 really solid episodes. Season 2 was like one like great and like a couple were pretty good, and then one it was like So I'm hoping the track record that will be a little bit better this time around. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean season 2 had both the worst and the best episode in it. So
yes.
I mean that's what happens with these series.
That's kind of the beauty of anthology series, right? It's like you don't like something. Well, maybe the next episode will have something better in store. So. Yeah,
a lot of people don't even watch like the first episode, or people tell people not to watch the first episode because it turns them off from Black Mirror.
It's pretty fair to be honest. So
but look, if you once you get past it, it's like if you're willing to accept that, then you're probably ready for the world of Black Mirror. I feel it's like your first test.
You could the first test. If you can handle that, you'll be ready for whatever the show throws at you after that.
So as always, you can click the link in the description to see the highlights of our reaction and then come back afterwards for a discussion. All right.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Well, there you have it. That was episode 1, season 3, Nosedive.
Nosedive,
sir.
Fuck you. Yeah, indeed.
Fuck you for Christmas.
Yeah. For next week, next month. I don't remember what he said.
Next Wednesday. Fuck you next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday. Well, our next Wednesday. Well, that's not what's going to happen our next Wednesday. That we will be talking. So that's something at least. But
well, okay. What are your initial thoughts? Your reaction?
I do genuinely wish that the her speech at the end was good, but I wish that it had been more like. I wanted a more 12 million merits sort of moment rather than it's just kind of her. Yeah. Really, ultimately, was like I like that's what I wanted as a viewer, but like ultimately what we got was a lot more sad and pathetic, and I think that ended up being a lot better. Like in terms of like having the story come to its natural conclusion. Like, yeah, I wanted her to take down all of the stuck up people, but like that's. She can't yet bring herself to do anything like that because she's still partially holding on to this phony life that she's so desperately wanted to have. I really liked that episode a lot. I thought that was really good. Contender for one of the best episodes of the show. Everything about the world building was fascinating. This technology is like the most toxic thing in the world. Yeah. It's like I said, I said while we were recording, it's like Instagram meets Yelp.
Right.
Which is like,
I mean, they take the concept of like caring so much about social media, and they're obviously amplified that a lot. Yeah. Because this is like people like to criticize social media, but obviously that's very different from this. This is like straight up classism based on social media, and like you have like people have their circles, I guess, now, but this is very on the nose. Like,
right,
you literally have a number next to you.
Right, but this is kind of a biting rebuke, or a biting not rebuke, but like it does feel like obviously this is an extreme. But I think
commentary,
there is a distinct, like, subconsciously there is this sort of desire for something, desire to be the perfection that's often shown on social media, your Instagram, your Facebooks, Instagram in particular, because like they've got all kinds of extra filters and things that you can do to change all of your photography around, and it's like and that's great. Honestly, like Instagram is a great. I love the application, but I think the danger of it is with the feeling that that Lacey sort of has in this episode, where it's like she's always wanting to be like the people that, like her old friend, basically. She's like constantly striving to want to be something like that, because as she explains to the truck driver lady, it's like then maybe she'll be happy, basically. It's like maybe then I'll be able to live a life and look back and be content, finally. Mm-hmm. But I think her brother's sort of like point of like, you think those people are actually happy? Like they're probably like sociopaths. Like they're probably dying inside all the time. And based on kind of everything that we hear from like influencers and stuff like that, that's pretty accurate. They're pretty upfront about the fact that being that, like, I guess famous through social media is like really hard and taxing mentally. So like there's just lots of little angles and bits and pieces like that. But I think what I liked about like the heart of the story is that like is this idea of where is life's success and where is life's happiness drawn from? And I think that's like where the scene with the truck driver is like the most important scene in the whole show. That and the last scene too, where both of them finally get to speak. They're able to speak their minds frankly and like relish in it, in prime vulgarity. And I think that's like there is like a refreshing beauty to that. So yeah, I love this episode. the more I think about it, the more I really enjoyed it. I mean, it's not perfect. Like I think, like you said, maybe it's a little on the nose, but the subtle layers of the technology, like we talked about, and like all the different like brands and stuff that we saw, that they weren't like drawing tons of attention to like they have in other things. Very cool. But yeah, imagine a whole world architecture built on ratings.
Yeah, where like your job depends on it, like access to certain living spaces depends on it. Being invited, like it's they saw multiple different things where you need to. That guy couldn't get into his office building because you need to be a certain rating to get in.
He couldn't go to his job because of it.
And she couldn't get this Pelican Cove, live in this Pelican Cove lifestyle community.
Yeah.
Without a 4.5 rating. The 4.5 rating gives her a significant discount, right? It was like 20% discount. Otherwise, it was going to be super expensive.
Yeah, I think you had to be like a 4.8 or something. You had to be something ridiculously high.
Yeah, it was 4.5. That's what she was going for.
Right. Yeah, she was trying to do that to get the discount. Yeah.
And so basically, she sees this what they call a reputeligen to like advise her on how to raise her rating.
Yeah, it's like a oh crap! It's like a social. It's like a social media like a trends analyst, or like a what's the sort of what's the like search SEO? He's almost like he's like a mixture of like an SEO optimization like expert with a trends analyst. Basically, could be like, all right, well, we can project that like you will be seen by, you have to be seen by this many people in this sort of aspect outside of your circle and within this sort of range of people, and so trending upwards, you can do that. Expect to be at that ranking in about 18 months.
Yeah, she's like, I need it way sooner than that, and he's like, well, you need a boost from a high, what was the word?
Quality people?
Quality people.
Quality people. That's so messed up. That's so everything about that is so messed up.
So we're talking and basically she tries to get back in the fold with Naomi, who was her old friend who kind of left her behind when she got a better job and more quality friends. So
I didn't pay super close attention to this. But I think if my memory serves, I could be wrong. There could have been some people of color in that crowd, but all of the quality people that I saw, they were almost all exclusively like white and like blonde and European, like basically all Aryan.
So it's almost like a reflection of like, high class, like wealth disparity almost.
Yeah,
it's like kind of what they're going for, even though it's not. There's money involved, but also ratings. So
yeah, and most, I would say most all the people of color were all like they were all service people, like service industry people, and then the guy in the jail cell, and it's like
who seemed like, I mean, he had a suit on, so he might have been a similar thing where he just had like a blow up or
had a bad day
at work,
Yeah, so we can to this. That's actually a really good point. That it's almost like he may have had almost the exact similar experience. Or just everything went wrong. He had a bad day, and then that completely tanked everything for him.
Yeah, but you can't have one bad. Like these little. There was a point where a couple of bad interactions cost her like access to a certain flight.
Yeah.
Because you need to be, what was it, a
4.3. And she was a 4.2?
4.2, and she was like 4.18 now because of
right.
She ran into someone and spilled their drink, and then
they one-starred her for some reason.
And then the taxi driver didn't like her.
Didn't like her. Just like that's so. It's everything about that is just so. It's so. Yeah, it's like toxic positivity, which is a legitimate thing, and this is really. sort of really sort of showing that like firsthand.
They showed those cringy interactions every time, like that woman in the elevator, and like every person you interact with, you have to have this fake smile, fake positivity about you.
But it can't be too much, or else they won't like that. They'll see through it.
Yep.
Right. So it's like,
and no profanity. When she's at the airport, all eyes are on her. Like if she was really concerned about her rating, she'd have to just like politely step back. Like if you hold people up a little too much, if you cut people off in traffic, they rate you down. All these different things.
It's like look, I mean, speaking very frankly, it can be very. As somebody who sees other people like flip out at service people, it's like that's not fun to watch. It kind of sucks for the service people. But the thing is, like, there's like even like the truck driver's like, well, how did that feel? And he's like, well, I guess it felt like, I don't know, I was angry, so it felt good. And it was like, yeah, there's an element of like of legitimate like this isn't justifying it, by the way, but there's an element of like legitimate like release when you're able to like let your frustrations out on somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So like that, a world where that's completely shut off is a world that's completely fake.
Yeah.
Because it's like, yeah, it's not fun to be on the other side of the interaction, having been yelled at as a service person before. But like, you can also understand that like, oh, well, maybe they just had a bad day, or they just had they've had a bad experience, or they're really frustrated. There's all kinds of other pressure on them. All that aside, again, not necessarily justifying it, because I you should treat your service people in that industry nicely as much as you can. Not to be phony about it, but just be respectful.
Yeah.
But that being said, that's gonna happen. People are people, right? People are gonna be emotions, and if you can't have a society where people can be people. It's just it's so. That's why all the like flat angle, like the dead on shots were also unsettling, because it's like they really sort of like, to me, the kind of vibe I get from them was just how like fake and like everything looks like all the same, and it's like it highlights the artificiality of it, which was really, which I really liked, because like most of the shots where it was all about like that kind of an interaction, it was all like flat, like straight on angle like that, and it was like really. You even mentioned also once the like claustrophobic, like really up close shot they would do sometimes, and yeah,
because it's like it's almost like giving you that perspective of like, if you were interacting with this person, you can see how off-putting it is. Like, it's clearly a fake interaction, fake positivity going on, like right in your face.
Yeah.
But like even with the phone call, you saw her just like talking to the camera. Bryce Dallas Howard got to do a lot of talking directly to the camera, which you don't see often.
Yeah.
But I think she killed it in this. She like.
I thought she was great. I mean, yeah, I think people maybe talk down on her acting ability from doing stuff in Jurassic World, where she is like. But that's like, it's Jurassic World. It's not showing Chris Pratt's acting talent either.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe the first one. The first one, I would say they had more to do in that one. I haven't seen the third one yet, so I can't say. But the second one is just like, they're playing characters, I guess, in a movie. There wasn't a whole lot of like range, I guess, that's shown off there. But that doesn't really matter. This was really good.
You get to see a lot from her. Yeah. Like her freaking breakdown she had in this.
Yeah, she goes through the whole gamut of emotions, like from a facade to like legitimate, like she puts her guard down with her brother and is always up, has this facade up, and then even it's really fun to see her like teetering on that when interacting with the truck driver too, where she's like sort of let her guard down, but then she's like, oh no, but don't take that the wrong way, because she's still terrified about getting downvoted and everything.
Yeah, Susan the truck driver.
Susan the truck driver is a hero.
Basically, like showed, like that she was a 4.6 at one point. She was all about the ratings. Her husband got cancer. That didn't do her any good, because they ended up taking someone with a 4.4 over a 4.3 for the surgery or whatever. And then
Yep.
from there, she was just like, "Fuck it, I'll say what I want, and just actually live." And
Yeah, live an actual life.
you
Yeah,
see a 1.4, and it's like, how do you get to a 1.4? But it's just because, like she said, people don't like, even her friends don't like her being honest. They don't.
right.
I guess, well, people aren't used to being honest, especially.
Yeah, because if it's all about that, if it's all about the ratings, if it's all about the Instagram perfect photos, then yeah, that's all that matters. It's just being, you know, being like. I mean, you even see it in the beginning, like how horrible her friend is with her, where she's like horrible, but it's like she only gives her like 4 stars on a certain thing, while all the other people are giving her 5 stars. So it's like which I think that affects her rating a little bit because it wasn't 5 stars.
Mm-hmm.
So it's still like, wow, that's
Yeah, I guess it would. Is like as long as it's below your rating, it would
Yeah.
lower it slightly.
But yeah, all the people we see are the most happy are like the freaking people who just don't care. Well, except for the guy who's like the guy who gets trapped out of his office. He's not happy. But like her brother, like he's kind of just like he's kind of just like a sort of a loser, but like he seems like he's not like upset about anything. He's honest. He's like enjoys his life as much as he can.
Mm-hmm.
Playing his games. I can relate to that. I play games.
We get the the Tranquility Con people.
Oh yeah, they're just living their life. Yeah. Well, that's where I think it's when she gets kicked out of there is that the low rating thing gets integrated into the score. Mm-hmm. The music in this is I think we were talking about this multiple times, but while we were watching it, but the score of this is great. It is minimalism, so it's very like same chords, same sort of progression, very little sort of progression of the music, but it's just like it perfectly sets the tone of like every moment. I think the opening song plays for at least like 10 minutes. It plays for the like the significant amount of time in the beginning of the episode.
Yeah, it's just like kind of a melancholy tone, and then just kind of plays as she's going about her day.
Yeah.
It really sets the tone for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like you said, they do have little bits of technology in there. Like you saw the charging stations for the cars, and how they had different. She was supposed to get an adapter because her car is outdated for that charging station. I don't know what that guy does for the charging station, but
he just sat on his phone and was watching porn. Yeah, it's great. It's lovely. I mean, the one thing that I also was kind of noting was it appear that they've revamped the entire highway system. I'm guessing this is in America because everyone had an American accent. Mm-hmm. Despite the fact that what's his name is British, the Grantchester, her brother. I don't remember his name, the actor's name, but he's British. But in any case, yeah, it looked like they've revamped all the roads, and I've noticed like all of the overhead shots were all showing how the roads are just towering over like buildings, and it's like maybe it's because she was in a city or whatever. Like there was something weirdly ominous about that little big piece of world building.
Yeah,
where it's like oh, the low roads down there. It's like, well, you have to have like one of these special cars in order to go to do that, and it's like it's a little weird. And
then we saw the technology on the windshield, home improvement popping up on the
home improvement was popping up in like some foreign language. I don't know what they were speaking, like some like Russian or something. I don't know what it was. It wasn't Russian, but
you can see some sort of eye technology. This eye technology is what I guess shows you the ratings next to them.
Yeah, this one like. Yeah.
I don't know if it has the same sort of integrated stuff as some of the other ones. It makes you think, like, does it have the same features, like the rewind and like the
rewind is the
entire review? Yeah,
that one's like that's the implant, right? Whereas
that's
this one,
that's true, is a different.
It has an implant there. Where this one is like it's literally like I think you can see because you can see it in her irises, like sometimes like moving around. So it's like around the I don't know if it's like attached in the cornea or something. but they pull it out basically when she gets put into prison, and yeah, she basically sees for the first time.
Yes,
kind of like really.
So I guess like that eye technology has put some sort of filter on the world too, because like she was able to. I don't know. Maybe it did put a filter, or maybe she's just like noticing for the first time without seeing the ratings and stuff. That like the particles in the air and stuff. You know.
Yeah, which is like that. That's refreshing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I couldn't even imagine, like, because like to me that's some of the charm of the charm, but it's like it's part of reality of like looking in a ray of sunshine or a light and just seeing like some dust particles and stuff floating. It's just like that's life. That's how you live.
Yeah,
it's part of reality, and having that like filtered out would be so creepy.
It's interesting because we saw a little bit of the protocols like in the airport.
Yeah.
Where she got the security temporarily for 24 hours docked her a whole point, and then initiated double down, so every rating will do double damage on her score.
Which is that everything about that is messed up.
So I guess that like, I mean her score was literally at 0 at the end after her whole breakdown at the wedding, but so the double down just piled it on.
So she was incarcerated, but like when you're let out of the clink, do they put it back in you, or do you just lose it altogether? If you get 0, do you just lose the technology altogether?
That's what I'm wondering. I wonder we have no knowledge of their legal system either. You know.
Yeah.
Or how like what their punishment is, like how long is it? Are they really harsh?
How are the presidents not like completely? Like, how do the presidents even stay in office? You know, like they're going to be rating fives or zeros like constantly. You know,
I don't know. It's an interesting point. Like the super public figures.
Yeah, we're not intended to think that hard about it. I don't think, because this is this is focused specifically on this aspect of this universe. So
so you don't need the details. You don't need like here's your sentencing. But it's interesting to think about.
Yeah, well, it's all about how this technology, right? How this concept interacts with your day-to-day life, which is what the episode's focused on. So, hers about her job and about her friends and about being happy, and yeah. She isn't until the end, where she's able to just say what she thinks, even though she's sad and still miserable about the fact that she lost everything, but she finds solace and content in just being able to swear at someone and not have any repercussions from it.
She had a lot of funny moments in her, like when she gets mad or something. She has some creative insults she'd throw in there, and like called that guy a jerk hole. Just talking about fucking Greg. You know, she's got there's a certain charm to when she uses that profanity. That character works.
Yeah.
So overall, where would we put it on our rankings here?
Are we already sticking it in rankings, or are we giving it a point? I don't remember what we did. We don't think we ever gave it a. Did we give them point totals?
Points. We do the points for the season.
We do the points for the season.
But we can do a ranking as it goes after each episode.
Okay, we'll do that. We can do that. So this
for me, I think it would be it's either third or fourth, but I think it's after White Christmas: An Entire History of You, and I think it's after 15 Million Merits for me also, and above Be Right Back. I think that's where I put it.
I think I'm the same way. That does not speak to that. It's tough because like I feel like this episode is so good, but it's like that to me speaks more to how good those other episodes are.
Yeah.
Because this is a really solid episode. This is like, man, this is get me right back into Black Mirror. Like this was really good. I liked it.
I think you can tell, at least I can tell, that there's a clear like shift in this season and like how it's done, because it's now under Netflix.
Yeah,
it's clearly handled.
Well, it wasn't all. What's his name? I think he helped the showrunner. The name I can't
Charlie
remember.
Brooker.
Yeah, Charlie
like
Booker or whatever. Yeah. But like Rashida Jones wrote the. It was like said that she did the screenplay
the
or
screenplay.
Yeah, well, it was co-written with someone else, but so it's like they're already that's talent from like Universal, like NBC. I don't know what studio she works. She doesn't like necessarily work for a studio, but she did writing and stuff for The Office and Parks and Rec.
Yeah, this is based on a story by Charlie Brooker, teleplay by Rashida Jones and Mike Schur. So I know.
Yeah, so he was
it's interesting.
So he's a story by guy, so he had the concept for the story, and then they wrote the script treatment for it. So
I know he's responsible for most of the episodes of Black Mirror, like from beginning to end. So that's so cool.
So this is already showing that there's a little bit of a different tone because he's not writing it specifically. It is like someone else's. I don't know if he necessarily wrote all the other ones either. I think some of the other ones were like story by or concept by, and then someone else wrote it.
I remember looking up, and he did write most of the episodes, like even season 4, season 5.
Oh, okay. But
I mean, so it's still like the concepts at least are coming from the same place. Mm-hmm. So he's still got the right mindset. It's like elements of technology, kind of a dark turn. This one is like it's dark, but it wasn't like depressing to me. Like it's almost it's a sad thought if this was the real world, but there's almost a certain humor to it about it.
Yeah,
maybe it's because of the fake positivity infused and everything. But
the fake positivity to me made it more like that. Yeah, I would agree. It's like it's not as necessarily as like I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to say exactly, but like. I did still find it dark because this, like, imagining where you had to live in a world where you had to be positive all the time or else it would completely, like, ruin your life. You couldn't be you can't be honest. Like, that's just, everything about that is so, like, it's a terrifying concept. And I think that to me is the dark edge of it. Because, like you said, I think that the overall tone is bright and cheery, but that's kind of overwhelming to the degree where it's overwhelmingly clearly not that, like how fake everything is. And that's sort of where that to me is sort of where that darkness sort of works is it's more because of how bright it is casting the shadow rather than necessarily just being depressing in and of itself, I guess.
Yeah, and like overall, I think most of the episode was very bright in terms of visual too.
Yeah, even this nighttime scenes were all pretty bright. So, yeah.
Which it won't be the case for every episode this season, but it's like
right. I think of dour and bleak lit episodes like the national anthem. Everything about that episode is so like blech to look at. Mm-hmm. It just feels like tinged.
But yeah, so I know there are people who prefer before the Netflix era, after the Netflix era, but I like it all. I think there's good and bad on both sides, so I don't think it's like they sold out, they'll never be the same again.
No, I mean this is still very very much the same sort of thing. I mean there's more American talent now, I guess, but she was great. Bryce Dallas Howard was great in this.
Great. Now, the next 3 episodes, I think, are some great. We're gonna have a lot of great stuff to get through. I'd say just a little tease. I like all the next 3 episodes even more. So.
All right. Oh well. Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll have to see.
The next episode is called Playtest. That's a fun one. It'd be fun to talk about.
Like games, like playtesting games.
Maybe.
I like games. Man. All right, cool. Well, that's in the bag.
Thanks for watching. We're back.
Yeah, we're back
to Black Mirror.
We're back to Black Mirror. Back in black.
That's right.
Yeah. What episode? What should folks go check out, Zach, after they're done watching this?
Well, after this, why don't you go check out our review of season 2 of Black Mirror?
Yeah, right. Check it out. Just a look back to when we didn't know what lie. I mean, except for Zach knew what lie in wait, but when I had no idea what lay in wait with this episode.
And here's to some fun for the month of October. Yeah, I was just thinking the next 3 episodes. Actually, the next 3 episodes will be for our month of October. I think there'll be some cool ones that actually work well for it.
Some thrills and chills. I like that. I like some thrills and chills with my October.
Yes. So. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell. Like the video. Leave a comment. Rate us 5 stars.
Yeah, rate us 5 stars. Man, you remember YouTube used to be that way. YouTube used to be rate 5 stars. That used to be how you do everything. So yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
Here you go, Alec. Good times.
All right. Yeah.
Sweet. No. At the end of every video we record. Didn't like you on that one.
Oh, I don't know about that. Didn't like that. Did not like that.
You disagree with my opinion?
Yes.
So we have to be all happy, positive, and in agreeance.
That's right. We do.
I want to see the content creation in this world.
Absolutely cursed. I can't even imagine. There's
already a whole cursed section of YouTube where it's like obviously for kids, and it's like every bright color is like, hey guys, what's going on? It's like it would be all that all the time, I feel like.
Well, I speaking, like I said, like I was saying before, toxic positivity is like a legit thing where it's like you can't have any. There are corners of the internet where it's like you can't have any negative thoughts about things because it's too mean or too wrong. So you have to only, and then you're frowned upon if you don't like something. That's toxic positivity. Like that's, you don't like the new Star Wars films. Well, screw you, because they're amazing. And how dare you say anything against them? They worked so hard. Disney did such a good job. They worked all those man hours. What a horrible thing. I can't believe you would say that is bad.
Yeah.
Like that kind of mentality. So
yeah,
that's the thing.
Because obviously, like we said, it's focused on this one person, but there's so much that would be like drastically affected by this, like news outlets and politics even more so, and then
which reminds me is this be one last thing before. But did you hear about did you see that thing talking about positivity? Did you hear about the thing where that climate guy was like, it's gonna be really bad in Britain this summer because it was like well, I went outside. It's a little hot, but it's not too bad.
No,
basically, they were like the newscasters basically completely downplaying this guy, and he's like, yes, it is a bit hot, but it's only going to get hotter, and it's going to be like the hottest summer in Britain since we've started recording the temperatures, which is a problem. And they're like sort of downplaying it, and he was just like, this is really dangerous. Like, please take that seriously. That people are going to die because of the heat of exhaustion. So. Anyway, no. On that happy note,
take care. See you next week.
Yeah, more Black Mirror.